Have you ever noticed how some folks think the quickest way to wealth is through cattle, land, and witchcraft, while others gamble everything on education? Well, in this story, one family tries to climb out of poverty through schooling. And what happens is a mix of heartbreak, ghostly girlfriends, cultural clashes, and honestly, one of the most stubborn love stories you'll ever hear. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. We begin in Bungatira, a village where wealth is measured not by your kindness or character, but by the number of cows you own, the amount of land under your control, and, oh yes, the number of wives you can manage to keep happy without going bankrupt. And here enters Bicencio Olugo, our family patriarch. By Bungatira standards, Olugo is flat out broke. Why? Because he has only one wife, Awino Karina. Just one. Imagine the audacity. No large herd of cattle, no expansive land holdings. He's got a roof, a small patch of ground, and the most valuable thing in his eyes, a local administration job. That's his little badge of honor. But Olugo is a dreamer. He believes education is the golden ticket out of poverty. He's determined to send his two sons, Fred Opito and James Obina, to school, hoping they'll one day lift the family into prosperity. Now to the villagers, especially one man named Ogang Apur, Olugo's ideas sound ridiculous. To them, education is just too long a way of acquiring wealth. Who needs to wait for school when you can just trade cows, dabble in witchcraft, and call it a day? Ogang even laughs at Olugo's plan, calling it nothing more than sheer building of castles in the air. And this is coming from a man who's wealthy but so antisocial and bizarre that his neighbors whisper about his odd ways and his witchcraft. Still, Olugo stands firm. His boys, Opito and Obina, are his hope. And guess what? The boys actually deliver. Both study hard and do well in school. The problem? Though they look alike, their visions of the future couldn't be more different. Opito, the modernist, has no patience for cultural traditions. He dreams of marrying an educated woman, even if she's from another tribe. His parents, of course, see this as an impending disaster. Obina, on the other hand, is the traditionalist. He plans to marry from his own people, sticking to the cultural script. So let's see how their love lives play out. Opito heads off to a school of technology, and there, fate delivers him the woman of his dreams, Gladys. Smart, educated, everything he's ever wanted. Finally, his dream feels within reach. But love, in Bungatira, comes with conditions. Gladys is not from their tribe, and the community isn't having it. She's flat out rejected. The humiliation is brutal. She's sent away in utter embarrassment. Heartbroken and crushed, Gladys ends the relationship. Poor Opito. But wait, it gets worse. Enter Ogang Apur, the witchcraft enthusiast. Jealous of Opito's progress and secretly wishing him ill, Ogang sends him a spirit in the form of an alien woman. This being looks exactly like Gladys and keeps him company at night. Imagine thinking you're getting closure, but instead, you get a ghostly doppelganger haunting your bed. Desperate, Opito thinks he's found a solution. Marriage. He quickly weds Jacinta Ajwang, a village girl, hoping that tying the knot will scare away the spirit. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. The ghost keeps coming. Finally, a medicine man named Odukani from Kiwola steps in and frees Opito from the clutches of the spirit. You'd think this is where the happy ending begins, right? Wrong. Instead of embracing his wife and moving forward, Opito grows paranoid. His wife Jacinta is moody and doesn't laugh much, so he starts fearing she might be yet another alien woman in disguise. Poor Jacinta, trapped in a marriage with a man who doesn't trust her shadow.
He got cooked!
Meanwhile, James Obina takes the opposite path. He's committed to cultural customs. But then, at Makerere University, he meets Margaret Nagawa, angelic, radiant, and utterly irresistible. She's the daughter of a wealthy Kampala businessman And she's got both beauty and determination. Obinna is shaken. He feels something powerful, but his traditional values hold him back. He tells her flat out,
"For us, a boy who marries a Muntu has sold his people."
Margaret, not one to give up, suggests a solution. They could simply avoid the village after marriage. Problem solved, right? Nope. Obinna insists.
If a wife deserts society, it means she regards the society with contempt. A young man who does that brings ridicule and disgrace to his people.
That's his stance. Tradition first.
Get out.
And when it comes to beauty, Obinna isn't exactly romantic either. He admits Margaret is beautiful, yes, but shrugs it off.
Beautiful is accorded the lowest point in the choice of a spouse. Those end up choosing wizards, stingy misers, and harlots. These are qualities sugar-coated by beauty.
Ouch. Somebody call Shakespeare, because this man needs a lesson in wooing. But Margaret is determined. Her father is trying to arrange her marriage to a wealthy Australian named Peterson, which she despises with the wildest abhorrence. She wants Obinna, and only Obinna.
That's love, bitch.
She goes all in. Margaret follows Obinna to the village, where she faces a barrage of indifference and hostility from his family. She's worked like a servant, insulted, even burned by her rival, Obinna's betrothed. The burn nearly kills her, but Margaret doesn't give up. She endures. She rises from being treated as a misfit to becoming an admired daughter-in-law. Slowly, she melts their hearts. Even Olugo and the rest of the family are won over. Eventually, her persistence pays off. Against all odds, her marriage to Obinna is agreed upon. Love triumphs. What started as an impossible, even laughable union becomes inevitable. Which makes us wonder, had Gladys stuck it out with Opido, would she too have won over his parents the way Margaret did? That question lingers. The book I'm talking about is An Alien Woman by Laury Lawrence Ocen. It's a powerful commentary on the socio-economic and cultural challenges of northern Uganda during a tumultuous time. It contrasts rural and urban life, tradition and modernity, and highlights the transformative power of education and perseverance. This story is both deeply cultural and strikingly universal. At its heart, it's about love clashing with tradition, about family expectations strangling personal happiness, and about how resilience, especially Margaret's, can change everything. The contrast between the two brothers is brilliant. Opido, the modernist, crumbles under pressure. His love story with Gladys is tragic, and the ghostly alien woman almost feels symbolic of the haunting consequences of rejecting or losing love. Obinna, on the other hand, clings to tradition so hard that he nearly loses the best thing that ever happened to him. But Margaret's sheer determination transforms his family, his village, and his own perspective. Thematically, An Alien Woman forces us to ask, what's the cost of sticking to cultural norms? And what's the price of rejecting them? Is true love enough to break through centuries of tradition? Or does it always require painful compromise? I also loved how witchcraft is woven into the narrative, not just as superstition, but as an active force shaping destinies. Ogang Apur, the villainous neighbor, isn't just a comic oddball. He embodies jealousy, bitterness, and the destructive power of resentment. The women in this novel really steal the show. Gladys, who bows out under pressure, and Margaret, who stands firm and reshapes her fate, represent two starkly different approaches to love in the face of cultural barriers. Margaret's endurance makes her one of the strongest characters I've come across in African literature. Laury Lawrence Ocen, the author, is a Ugandan writer, poet, and academic. He's perhaps best known for this novel, An Alien Woman, but he's also recognized for his other books, including works like Ruins of a Star. Lawrence's writing often grapples with modernity versus tradition, the tensions of cultural identity, and the struggles of ordinary people navigating societal change. His contribution to East African literature is significant because he doesn't just tell stories, he raises questions that still matter today. So, what do you think? Between Opido's ghostly nightmare of love and Obinna's reluctant but triumphant romance, Whose story resonated more with you? And if you were in their shoes, would you fight tradition for love, or would you stick to the old ways? Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in diving deeper into this book, I've left some links down in the description. You can use it to grab yourself a copy and keep the adventure going. And if you're in the mood for more great reads, don't go just yet. Click on one of the videos popping up right now that I think you'll love. And don't forget to give this review a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Every bit of support helps us grow this little community of book lovers. See you in the next one.